Okay, so for this video, we want to talk about how to set up a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions, and then we're going to host our self-runner. So we're going to deploy our application using GitHub Actions to an AWS ec2 instance. So let's just begin. What we're going to do is we're going to come here. Let's CD. Let's go to desktop. So let's create a repository first. So I'm going to use GitHub repo create. I'm going to use a repository from scratch, and then integration. So repository name is integration demo. Let me just call it integration CI/CD demo. No, let me call it CI demo. Let me call it CI demo. Let's call it CI demo. Okay, so it's going to be that me description continuous delivery pipeline pipe in GitHub Actions on AWS ec2. And then I'm going to make it public. So one of the things you do is if you make your repository public, then you're able to actually use GitHub. You're able to use GitHub runners. If you make it private, then you would have to pay for the premium version. Now runners always have limits. Now, do you want a README file? Of course I do that. Do you want a gitignore file? I do want a gitignore file. And we're going to deploy a React app. So let's pick something Node.js. Let's just pick, where is Node? Node. Do the license. Well, always good to have a license. We can use a GNU GP3 license, and we'll create a CI demo as a public repository. Yes. Would you like to do it locally? Yes. So I want to clone it locally again. So bam. So that. So then I can cd into CI demo ls. So now I'm good. So now that we're there, I am actually good. So now we're good. So if I come here and reload, CI demo has just been created. So if I go, so the CI demo has just been created here. It's clean. It says a continuous delivery pipeline using GitHub on AWS ec2 has just been done right now. Okay, good. Now there's code that I already have. There's code that I already have. So I'm going to do all that installing and setting up. So there's code that I already have. So I'm just going to copy the code like I do. I'm just going to copy the code exactly how it is. So I'm going to just copy the code exactly how it is. So don't worry about that part. So don't worry about that part. So okay, so that's pretty good. So so you do this, you can see I already have code here. So let's open it in text editor like this. Then we're good. So we're good. So now we open this in text editor, we're perfectly okay. So when we open this in text editor, what do we do? First thing we need to do is obviously we want to run this one. We want to be able to run it. So I want to be able to run this. So if I want to run it locally, obviously I'll have to install I have to come here and install I'll obviously have to install npm install. I will probably do npm install to install node modules for it to run. So let's just do that. I have to do node modules for it to actually run. So pretty good. Let's just wait for it to finish. Okay, so this is finally done. So there are packages that are deprecated and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's basically done. So if you want to basically run it, you can do npm start. This is an older version. Let's do npm start, and then we open that localhost 3000. Let's see what it says. So it says deployment of React app using GitHub Actions to AWS now updated. So this is what it's actually saying. Yeah, so this is basically what this particular app is saying. Okay, let's do. We're good. So perfectly okay. So one thing we have a git ignore. We have a git ignore here. We have a git ignore, and one thing we don't want to push, I believe, a build file. So Next.js output. Let's come here and have what's called build. We don't want anything. So if you have a build file, we don't want to do this. So let's come back here and do this. Let's do npm run dev, npm run build. So that should generate a build. It should generate a build file, an optimized build file for us to actually deploy. It's done, basically. Okay, so if you go to a build file, then we come here, we find we have index.html, and you know, it's basically doing, you know, a build file. So it's generating a build file, pretty much okay with that. So it's generating a build file, and we're basically okay. So this is a build file that has been generated. So after that, let's push this to GitHub. Now you guys all know git add dot everything. We can do git add. Okay, let's just do git add, because I usually use GitHub desktop. Don't charge me. Git let me say I'm just going to do what exactly did I add? I did not, let me say, added build folder to git ignore. Yeah, to git ignore, right? So added build folder to git ignore. Good. So we can do that, and then we can git push. Should be good. So that should be fine, and that should be fine, right? So we have pushed that. If you come here and we do everything has been pushed up. Now we want to run a pipeline here. Now we want to do a pipeline here. Now in order for us to run a pipeline, basically what we need to do is we need to create a .github directory. So right now we are here. What we need to do is create a .github, and then forward workflows. Okay, so we do .workflows. So inside the workflows, now we can actually create a file, and I can call the file main. I can just call it main, yeah. And then it needs to be a YAML file. So inside there, I need to have a YAML file. I need to actually have a YAML file there. So you need to learn about YAML file if you're going to use Github Actions. Basically, you need to learn about YAML file. So YAML is a serialization language, which means some weird. YAML stands for YAML ain't a markup language, and it's a data serialization language that has been there for a while, and it's very good, especially if you're into DevOps and stuff. It's something you're going to use a lot. So we're going to I have a YAML file that I want you to check out. I'm just going to come here, and then we're going to bring the YAML file here. Yeah. So we're just going to Alright, so let's look at the YAML file. So this YAML file is saying about name. Name of this workflow is Node.js continuous integration, and then we say every time on push. So we're looking for a trigger. So trigger should happen on either on push or when somebody opens a pull request. And then the jobs. Job 1 is to build, and this one should run on what? So right now this one is it's called running on Kefir. Yes, it's running on Kefir. I'm going to explain what that means. So running on Kefir, usually if you want to run this on GitHub's own machine, you just say Ubuntu latest. Ubuntu latest, you run it on GitHub's own servers. Now Node.js version, there is 18, 20, 21. I'd like us to use version 18, but you can do, if you want 16, you can do 16 there. If you want 14, you can do 14, but I'd prefer let's do 18. You can also do 21 if you like. You can actually also have them in a matrix so that you can compile them for different versions. You can do 21.x, and then you do, let's say, 18.x. Yeah, you could do that in a matrix. So that's pretty okay. So we're just going to do, let's just go and do 18 version, because that's super compatible with that. And then we have what we call actions. It uses actions checkout. So I'm using version 4. So actions checkout version 4, basically what exactly is it? So if I come here, for example, if I come here and version, so it's basically using actions checkout. This is actions checkout. It's written here. It basically it's pre-written to do a specific task. So I'm using version 4, which I believe, which is actually the latest, of that same thing, as well as action setup node version 4 as well. And then npm CI, and then I run build. So if build is present, then let me run that particular build. Good. So we are pretty much okay. So I can save that. After saving that, I can, what else can I do? I can save that. So the next thing I can do is upload. So the next thing I can do is let's, okay, now that we're supposed to be using terminal, let's git add okay, let me just do git add all of that, and then git commit let me see, added workflow file, and I can push that there. So once I push this workflow, this YAML file, once I push this, I'm going to have things. Yeah, I'm going to have things that to build. Yeah. So if here I can see we're going to have a CI/CD pipeline building in green. So let me show you that. So now if I do come here and reload, I'm going to see this this pending action. So if I click on actions, in this case, I can see there's something building in the background. So we said on push start to build. So you can see this is building. This is actually building. So it's doing this, doing all this entire thing. So the thing is, it's building on GitHub's own instances, but we want to be able to build on our own ec2 instance and deploy it. Now the thing about it is that, you know, eventually if too many people are collaborating on a project, you're going to have run into rate limiting. So if you can actually have your own self-hosted platform, then it's better for you because you don't have to rate limit. So for example, in this case, that is what exactly we're going to do. So what we're going to do with that is now we're going to come here to GitHub. We're going to come here to GitHub. Then we're going to come here to settings. Yes. So in settings, we're going to click on actions. We're going to come to runners. So runners basically defines the platform. Yeah. So runners define your specific platform. So runners, they define your platform. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here on runners. Then we're going to create a new hosted runner. So we're going to create a new runner for this particular person. Yeah? So we're going to create a new runner for this guy. So then we're going to state here. After that, the next thing we're going to do is now we need to deploy an ec2 instance. So I'm going to come here and then let's do an ec2. Let's do ec2 here. So we're going to do ec2 instance. Now let's launch an ec2 instance, and then let's call this CI demo. This is going to be ec2 instance. I like to use Ubuntu because I'm more Ubuntu guy, but you can use Linux, Amazon Linux. Boom. So I've come here exactly. So by default, so this is here by default. This is here by default, and then Ansible. This is Ansible 0. This is Ansible 0. This is Ansible 0. Ansible 0. Ansible 0. Ansible 0. Ansible 0. Ansible 0. Okay, let's select an existing security group. Let's do launch wizard 1. let's make that 30 gigabytes. That's pretty much okay. So we can now actually come and launch this, for instance. Okay, so we already have this. Now we have this. So CI demo. Let's just copy the public IP address and then open it up. Okay, so here we go. So let's go to keys. Our keys were there. SSH. Ubuntu is the username. Let's just do that. So now we are logged into our instance. This is the instance that we want for it to be the runner. So now we're logged into our instance. Now the next thing we're going to do with our instance, remember what we need to do with the instance. So here. So first thing is we're going to create a directory. We're going to create a directory first. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a directory. We're going to create a directory. So we're going to create a directory mkdir. Let's call it CI demo. Yeah, and then cd into CI demo. Good. So now we are inside that particular one. So the next thing is we're going to curl this particular package. So we're going to download that package. Perfect. It is yes, Tafa. And then we're going to do validating hash, optional, but I love being thorough, basically. So we're good. So now the next thing is we're going to actually extract that file. So let's extract the file. Should work. Okay, it's taking a bit of time. So once we extract the file, now we have this. So you can actually even delete this, but now we have this file. Now after that, the next thing is we're going to configure this. Configure with the link to our specific repository with an authentication token. So we're going to do that. Enter. Boom. Pretty much good. So enter the name of the runner group to add this runner to. Then what are we going to do? I can just press enter. Enter the name of the runner. So the name of the runner is exactly what you can just give it a name, or you can leave it as default for that IP. Enter any label. So you can actually label it what you want. I can say CI, and then I can call CI demo. So I can pass CI demo as a parameter. So I can label it as CI demo. Work folder, I can just let it stay _work, and then now I'm actually good. So then you can actually do copy run.sh. So when I do run.sh, it's supposed to now listen. So it's supposed to listen. It's supposed to be listening for jobs. So it's supposed to be listening for any jobs. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to let it that, because if I can't work if the job is that way. So what I would do is I would do sudo. I'm going to do sudo svc sudo svc is it sudo svc, no, sorry, sudo is dot svc.sh, and then I'm going to install it first, let it install, and then sudo then I'm going to start service. So I'm going to start service, so that now we have some kind of daemon running in the background. So the daemon is now listening in for jobs, basically. Good. So we're good. So now after that, we actually basically okay. So we can actually come back here, and then we can reload. So now you see we have this called CI demo. So we have a runner called CI demo, and it's basically that. So next thing we're going to do is now we're good. So now basically, so this was Ubuntu latest. So Ubuntu latest, let's check what happened. So when we're doing actions, when it ran on Ubuntu latest, everything worked. Everything we had a tick, everything worked. So now instead of that, instead of actually having that, let's get back here. CI demo. So we're going to call it CI demo is the label. So you can call it anything, CI demo or self-hosted. You can do self-hosted, or I gave it a name, so mine can just be CI demo. So I can do CI demo, and then I'm good. So I'm actually very good. so that if now you guys want to git and git commit, and then I said added self hosted runner, and then I can now git push. So git push. So once we git push, now let's come back to actions. We should have something happen. So self-hosted runner actually started working. So now let's see if it's going to finish. And it's going to finish. So everything is working. Things are basically compiling. Takes a little while, but things are compiling a little bit. I'm not supposed to talk about that, but now finally everything is done. So the build is actually done. So now that the build is done, let's get back into this. Let's get back into this specific one. So our build is perfectly okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go into work directory. So we're going to go cd into _work. So that is the directory that we're supposed to be in. Then we can cd into ci demo. Sorry. Cd into ci demo again. Sorry. Cd into ci demo. Okay, now we're good. Now you can see we have build folder, so we can go into build. And if you go into build, you can see we have index.html. So this is our build file. It's super optimized for that. Now the next thing I'm going to do with this particular one is I want us to do a pwd, print working directory. And this is what you're going to have. So we have the build. So I want you to copy the build because this is the directory. And this build folder, that's okay. Let's just put it here. I'd like to paste it somewhere here. I'd like to paste that here because we're going to need it. Now the thing is, once you're done here, so yeah, you can either copy this particular IP address or you can use the public IPv4 DNS. So if you paste here, obviously you're not going to get anything. Now the thing you need to do is we need to install a web server component. We need to install a web server. We need to install a web server to serve our HTML file. So sudo apt update. Going to sudo apt update. Okay, takes a little bit of a while. I'm supposed to do that. It's taking way too much. Okay, good. 19 packages ready to upgrade. Okay, we're going to go to sudo apt install. We're going to use nginx. We're going to sudo nginx. So we're going to install. We're going to use nginx. So nginx is going to install. It's doing pretty fast. It's working pretty fast. And done. So so yeah. So if you do sudo system control control nginx start status nginx. Okay, so sudo system status nginx. So you can see nginx is actually specifically running. So if you come here, you should have nginx running. So nginx is basically running pretty much okay. Now after that, the next thing we're going to do is we need to select. So if you go into cd where nginx is installed, etc nginx, then you go into what we call let's go to sites enabled. So cd into sites and sites enabled. There's a little bit of latency between when I type and it goes here. So we have, when you look at this card, we have the default. you can see we have default. We have default basically. So we have default. So what we're going to do is one thing we're going to do is I want to copy this. So I want you to copy server all the way here. Then I want you to copy this. I'm going to copy that. And then ls. So I'm going to do sudo. Sudo. Usually I do move default to default. Let me do .old. Usually I do that. Always make sure in case something happens wrong. So then I can just say sudo nano. I go sudo nano. Then now default. Let me say Control X. Sudo nano default. Okay, nano default. Sudo nano default. And then now I'm going to paste all that here. Let's paste all that here. So after pasting all that here, let me come here and just do my magic. So let's delete all this. Delete, 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 delete. That should be okay. So listen. I don't know why you have that. So listen to server name. I don't even need to have any of that. I can just leave that like that. Like that. And then now root. So now we have root. So we need to make root differently. So we come here to root differently. So you remember we had this. So this is what we need to build. So we are basically making root the build folder. When making the build folder is going to be our root file, and we basically paste that. We just paste that, and basically paste that, and we're basically good. So ls and default.old. So I can do sudo rm default dot old. Let me do that. Now default. So sudo nginx -t to make sure everything is successful. So all configuration is successful. So I can say sudo system control nginx restart or restart nginx. Okay, so restart nginx. Perfect. So now nginx has been restarted. So let's come back here and do this. So if I come back here and restart nginx, now I'm going to have a 4.4 error. Now there's a reason why that is happening, and it has to do with permission settings. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back here. So we're here, cacd pwd ubuntu. Now ubuntu. So okay, so what we're going to do is cd ls, right? So pwd. Okay, so ubuntu home ls cd. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do sudo chmod. We're going to add an executable to ubuntu. So ubuntu, we are home. So let's see, dash home. So we're going to add that home to ubuntu. We're going to add, and then after ubuntu, I think we're going to go to CI demo. We are also going to add that execution permission to that, and then CI demo is _work. Do we have work? So we're going to add that to the work directory as well. and then from work we have CI demo. We're going to add executable, and after that I think we have CI demo. We're going to add that again, and from CI demo demo build, and then after that we're basically done. So I should be able to restart. Restart Nginx. Restart Nginx. Sorry, start Nginx permissions. So let's get back here. So now deployment of a React app using GitHub Actions, and now this is fully deployed. So we're basically okay. So now basically what you can come and do, I can come and delete this. I can come and delete this. I can come and delete that. So we can come back here and say, okay, we are here, and we want to go into source directory. Let's go into source and then update JS. Then deployment of React using now updated actions using GitHub Actions to AWS, and we can say new build, so that we see if it's going to make any sense. So here we can just add that here, and new build update. I don't know, whatever, anything. Is that okay? Then I can come there and commit, then on push. Okay, so so we're good. So basically we come here now. So basically when you come here, actions, we should start seeing a job working. So we're supposed to start seeing a job doing its thing right now. We're supposed to have a job doing its thing. So it's going to be building. Now this is going to take a while, so I'm not going to record the entire thing. I'm trying to make my videos shorter, because I realize that sometimes they're way too long, because I don't edit my videos basically. So when it gets to a time when you're building, I'm just going to pause. So deployment of a React app using GitHub Actions to AWS new build. So now we have a new build app. So basically this is a very crude version of CI/CD, because the problem with this is that usually when the job is compiling, then you'll find that this will be unavailable. You will get an internal server error. So this is just a basic crude version. Now I'm still learning and getting better. Working on bringing one with CI/CD pipeline from AWS code pipeline, code build, code artifact, and all that, all end to end on AWS. Otherwise, follow me for more. Thank you.